This is the Big O Show. 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 This is the Big O Show.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura Integra. $229 a month. It's the Season of Performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding. After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
It's game day at Toyota of Hollywood. Our All-Stars are here to give you our MVP experience. Join the fun and feast on discounts up to $4,500. Huddle up and score big on a 25 Corolla. Not $26,000, $17,988. It's a tailgate party you don't want to miss. So gobble up the savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer. Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
Price, service, selection. Get all this and more at South Florida's #1 loved Subaru store. Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Save today with our 3 ways to save. 0% financing, 0 down payment, or make no payments for 90 days. From Subaru of Pembroke Pines.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welt & Rayom can help.
There's just one place to get our lowest payment on a new Acura ADX. $239 a month. It's the season of performance event at Acura of Pembroke Pines, #1 in the USA.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
morning, one and all. Hope you all are doing well on a beautiful Monday, December 22, 2025, day number 18,967 since your Miami Dolphins were world champions, and day number 8,750 since the Miami Hurricanes were national champions. Would be nice to reset that counter. Got one game closer to that. We shall see what we shall see against Ohio State. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. It's good to be in this kind of a mix again, man. We'll get to that. We'll talk about the Canes. Obviously, we got to talk about the Canes. They're the ones worth talking about. I know we'll talk about the pathetic Dolphins because we always talk about the pathetic Dolphins. It is what it is. Win or mostly lose, we will talk about the Dolphins because they rarely do win. Actually, they don't win anything, to be quite honest. So it's mostly about how they lost or are losing or are losers. Usually that's what it is. Let's see. Okay. So we got a lot of things to talk about, obviously, on the show. Heat lost last night to the Knicks. The Dolphins lost to the Bengals, and the good thing is University of Miami beat Texas A&M. That was absolutely magnificent. Got to give the boys a ton of credit overall. Mark Fletcher was an absolute stud. That defense, Ruben Bain with the 3 sacks. Scott with the 2 sacks and the 10 tackles. Mesidor also had a sack and a half. Fitzgerald with the 2 interceptions. Torre with the Mohamed Torre with the 8 tackles, plus the big hit in the fumble. And by the way, Sean Stanley, tomorrow we'll talk to Steve Calabro, of course, right? Mohamed Torre, do you know where he's from? Pleasantville, New Jersey, actually. So, it's funny. So we'll have some fun with Steve on that because that was a big play. It just smelled of Canes' performances of the past. Big players making big plays in big games. Malachi Toney has the fumble, and then he gets to redeem himself with the touchdown. These were things that were just there was a lot of that old Canes feeling in that game because they showed the toughness and the grit on the road, hostile environment. That's what the Canes used to do back in the day. They'd go to Nebraska, they'd go to Oklahoma, they'll go to Ohio State, they'll go to Alabama, they'll go anywhere, everywhere, and they'll beat you there in your home. And they'll whip out the 6-shooter in Texas, and that's what they're going to do. And it doesn't matter where they've been, A&M or anywhere else, they were going to bring it to you. If you brought them to the house, Michigan, well, Steve Walsh was going to have a comeback that you weren't going to count on, and it's going to happen. That's what the Canes were about back in the day. That's why I was pissed that Mario and the boys ended up losing to Louisville and to SMU because, the Canes of back in the day, they'd run the table in the Big East, and they were only tested outside the conference in the games that I just talked about, in the game that just happened on Saturday. So, that's one of the things that I want to mention, that it gave me that feeling of old Canes in that game. And that tells me that Mario is getting some dogs in there to, really help out. And it wasn't easy, man, because both defenses were awesome. And moving over to Ohio State, Carson Beck's going to have to be better than what he was against Texas A&M. And the problem is Ohio State's defense is better than Texas A&M's. So I'm thinking that Fletcher and the entire running back crew, they are going to have to be, the anchor of that game against Ohio State, because Ohio State's defense and secondary is better than what you faced against Texas A&M. And if this passing game struggled that much, and they focused on Malachi, as you saw, they were ready every time Malachi touched the ball. They were ready. They were all over him. Okay. And he ended up with 5 receptions, 22 yards, and the touchdown, which was that end around, that was a pass. But outside of that, it's not, he didn't end up with great stats because they're going to focus on the kid. I mean, how do you not focus on Malachi Toney? The guy is a absolute stud. He's one of the best football players in the country. Forget about freshmen. That's a disservice. That's a discredit. That's disrespectful to Malachi Toney. Malachi Toney is one of the best college football players in the country, period, end of story. And they treated him like that at Texas A&M. Okay, luckily he got that one play out and was able to redeem himself, and that was awesome. But the passing game is going to have to be better against Ohio State. But the running game for UM, and obviously to stop the quarterback and that receiver and everybody else on Ohio State is not going to be easy, dude. Okay, that's going to be one hell of a job for that secondary. Mario thinks that most of the guys that got banged up, Torrey and these guys, are going to be, good to go in 11 days. That's a good thing, too. You got 11 days. It's not like immediately next week. You got extra days for some of these guys that got banged up to get healthy. But the running game, because I don't know how much better the passing game is going to get, and you're going to face a better defense. What I'm trying to tell you is I haven't seen Carson Beck yet be a dog against something like this in a Canes uniform. You know what I mean? So I don't know. He's going to have to wake up big time in that game, because if he plays the way he played this week, which was they controlled it, they limited him, I don't know if you win. You know what I'm saying? But I know this, they're going to need the running game, and the running game better come through. This is a huge game for this offensive line, dude. Huge game for this offensive line. This is going to be really interesting. We'll get more into it as we get closer. We'll get some interviews. We'll focus a little bit more. Right now, by the way, Ohio State is favored by 9.5 points. The over and under is 42.5. Miami is plus 300 on the money line. Ohio State is minus 400. Okay. The good thing is Mario and the boys are playing with house money now. They're not supposed to win this game. The one that they either should have won or needed to win was the one on Saturday, and they did that. Biggest win for them in 2 decades. Okay. They're not supposed to beat Ohio State, but I'll tell you this, they got a chance. And in college football, emotions can carry you and momentum can carry you. So it all depends on how you come into this game, and do you man up, and are you able to slow that offense down, and are you able to score on that defense? The good thing is you're also on a neutral field in the Cotton Bowl, so you're not playing at Ohio State, which is really cool. So that is also very, very important. You'll have a much more fans than you had at Texas A&M, so that's going to be also good for the University of Miami. But man, congratulations to the Canes. We needed this too, because the Dolphins are, they've been crap for decades, and the Canes have been crap for 2 decades. But it's nice to see that finally one of our football teams looks like it's getting out of, obviously if they beat Ohio State, then they're definitely out. But, even if they lose to Ohio State, I can live with it. But it's about getting back next year and becoming a perennial playoff team. That's when we're going to start to feel real good. But I'm looking forward to this game on the 31st, man. And it adds a little spice to to my New Year's Eve, celebration with the family. So that's good because normally the bowl games and all that kind of stuff at that time, I don't really care, But just congratulations to the Canes and to Mario and his staff, and congratulations to all you UM fans out there that have been hanging around for a long time, waiting for them to get back. And I'm happy for you young fans that haven't really experienced the good Canes team. So that is really, really cool, man. Really, really cool. So good shit there. All right, remember, you can hit the like button, por favor. That gets the algorithms going. Only got 26 likes. Let's go. Let's get us over 100 right away. You can also hit the notification bell. That way you know when we're going live, pre-game, post-game, a rant, any kind of breaking news that we're going to address or something like that. Make sure you hit the notification bell. You can always make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum donation. Always appreciate that. Speaking of Bitcoin, it is over 90,000 right now, up over 2% to start out the day, which is nice to get it back at 90. The Dow is up 105 points this morning. The S&P is up 25 points, and the NASDAQ is up half a point. That's what you got going on right now in the market. All right. Let me see what we got here. Oscar Rojas, good morning to you, sir, and Stephen Harris and NorCal. Jaybird is in the house. Dolphin Dave, Pep. Well, if you go visit the Big Cheese, Pep, nothing wrong with that, dude. Those garlic rolls, and they bring you the pizza sauce on the side. So the garlic rolls are delicious as it is, but then you get to dip it in the pizza sauce. That's just criminal, bro. It's too delicious. It's awesome. So yeah, Big Cheese makes me hungry too, dude. Renegade is so sick and tired of the Dolphins inept crap every damn year. A clueless owner and head coach. We don't have a prayer. Well, I mean, according to reports, the head coach is coming back. Jeff in Long Island. What is it? Joe Rose was saying someone asked Dan Marino advice on a QB. I would hope to God they have done that already. Of course they have, bro. You think Dan Marino has hung around the old man for the last 15 years? And you think Big Ears hasn't said, hey, Dan, what do you think about this coach? What do you think about this situation? What do you think about this quarterback? You think he hasn't shared that? You can't have it both ways. Look, I didn't listen to Joe. I don't know what he said, and I know he's friends with Dan and all that good stuff. Dan had his shot to be a GM here. He ran away from the job faster than Jake Paul did from Anthony Joshua. Okay? I mean, he ran. He was running like Forrest Gump. Okay, he got to the Senior Bowl, and then he just turned around and ran right out of the Senior Bowl, like the house scene out of Forrest Gump, and he ran right onto the street and right down, and he ran right back to Miami. So, I didn't hear Joe. I don't know, but, we've been down that road. You had your opportunity, dude. I get it. You want to live your life, which he's earned it, and I have no problem with that, dude. But let's not have it both ways. You had your chance to be the guy and run the team. They gave you the keys to the kingdom, and you ran right out like the house was on fire, which, by the way, it's been on fire for decades. Okay? So, this whole former player bullshit, whatever, figures a former player would be pulling that bullshit. But it is what it is. But it's funny. That's all. Be fun if I was there at the station just for a moment, just so I can, tear it down and have some fun. But, that's kind of what I used to do back in the day. Anyway, True Fin Fan says, assholes, sir. They're assholes, sir. Spaceballs. That's what came to mind this morning when talking of the Dolphins. Alexis Palenzuela, Ty in the Bronx, Lisa Rose. Such a depressing non-victory Monday. Well, that's sorry, Lisa. We got the Canes, baby. We got some Canes over here. So, we have a victory Monday, okay? I don't give a shit about the Dolphins. I didn't expect to have victory Mondays that much with the Dolphins since the offseason. I said 7-10. I don't know. Will they get that 7th win? They're not getting it against New England. Can they beat the Bucks and match the Sportstradamus prediction? Anyway, so it is a victory Monday. A big victory Monday, Lisa, for us here in Miami. Big victory Monday. Jamie Zoria in San Jose. Ray Grullon says, howdy-o, nice classic MTV shirt. Thank you, sir. He says, I remember the line, I want my MTV. When they actually showed videos. Dang, I missed a 120-minute show. Yes. Love that. 120 was awesome. Headbangers Ball and the concerts and the music news and breaking music news and, like when it was a real music channel, So it's a shame because I do it myself. Like I'll go on YouTube and I'll start playing some videos, or I'll let I'll hit one that I like and then let it, start going from one to another. And usually it'll go through my algorithm of my history and it'll start putting stuff that I like out there on average. And it's like my private MTV. So I would still watch it if it existed. You know what I mean? But I guess all of us that are nostalgic about it, there isn't enough of us, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what it is, because they went from being a music channel to then starting to do all kinds of stupid shows. And that's where I think they kind of ruined what MTV was, because let's delve into this and this and this and this, where they should have just kept the channel going. And then if you want to do all that other stuff, then do it on MTV2 and all that other kind of stuff. That's the shame of it. But again, listen, I'm not smart enough. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't work nowadays, whatever. But I loved MTV, man. I loved it. MTV scared me away. I didn't get tired of MTV. Okay. Well, yeah, I did, because I got tired of what they morphed into. Okay. I never really hear people say, oh, well, I stopped watching MTV. That got old for me. No, I always hear them say, well, it stopped being a music channel. That's why I stopped watching. That's what I always hear. So then I have no idea. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what's right and what's wrong here. You know what I mean? Because I never hear, oh, I got bored of watching the music videos and the news and the concerts and 120 or Headbangers Ball or whatever the hell it is, we used to watch. And yeah, no, I never heard anybody say that I got tired of that. Never heard anybody say you got tired of artists stopping by and doing interviews. Never heard that. Which, all that stuff, I for me as a music aficionado, effing loved it, bro. Effing loved it. So that's the part that I would present to people. Like, I never heard anybody say, oh, I got tired of music. Never watched. No, it's what they turned into. I hate it. Can't watch that shit. Pregnant in 16 or whatever it was. You know what I mean? It just MTV Cribs or whatever, which, some of them were all right or interesting, but make another channel for all that. That's not music. I understand there's music related to it because of the artist and all that kind of stuff, but it's not what you are. So should have created another channel, which they did, It wasn't MTV2 and everything. That's where you should have put all that. And let the music channel run on its own and see if it would have lived on. See, you should have thought of ways to enhance the music channel even more and continue to better it that way. And then maybe you would have continued to evolve through generations. Who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Juan Rosa Reggie says McDaniel is 4-10 without Tua as a starter, and pretty soon it'll be 4-12. Yeah. But I got to tell you, Reggie, I'm glad they use Tua as the scapegoat. I'm glad Tua needed to get benched anyways because he wasn't playing well and he's not really focused in on what he has to do. And I think it's also that Tua's kind of done with Mike McDaniel and this whole clown show, which I don't blame him, man, because it's a terrible place and it's poorly coached and it doesn't really complement any quarterback or offense to have that guy on your sidelines. I'm just, he sits there yesterday that he is frustrated and it's like, yo, asshole, you're the one that's been here for 4 years in charge. And it's the same crap that's been going on for 4 years. You do the same shit over and over again. And to be quite honest, I don't know how some of you fans or media or anybody, okay? Look, I get it if some of these insiders, because, they kind of talked about early on when McDaniel got their job, oh, I know him personally. I've gotten to know him over the years and this, that. And so, this is why I try not to be friends too much with people in the business, because then it kills your objectivity. And then you're not going to be able to be, if you're friends with all these coaches and, whatever, or players or whatever, then how in the hell are you going to be critical of them? You know what I'm saying? So it's baffling to me how any of you thought that, and it happened. Some of you started buying this whole thing like McDaniel has figured it out or something. And it blows me away, dude. Just does. Oscar Rojas, Big O, you said numerous times you would have picked Tristan Wirfs in the draft. We had a later first-round pick that ended up being Austin Jackson. Just curious, who would you have picked for that one? I don't remember now. I'd have to go back to that draft show and remember who I had in that second round. It's there. It's on video. It's there. It's all on the platform. It's not like we erased it or anything like that. But I don't remember now. Sean, do you remember who I wanted in the second round or late first round with that other pick or something?
Well, I've been going through the videos today, and a lot of it you said were building the lines, the offensive line, and I'm guessing the defensive line. I don't know. I'm not going to put words in your mouth on the second pick. The first pick you said should go O lineman, and then you didn't really go toward the later first-round pick, but you said they should build.
Right. If I take Tristan Wirfs with the first pick, I'm probably not taking Austin Jackson and the last part of the first round. I'm probably taking a D lineman or something like that, right? Is that what I was thinking or something like that?
You had that, and then you also were talking about, and then again, I didn't see the whole thing. This is a 3-minute clip I'm taking the words from. So there was a part where you said that if they took O lineman at the back part, you thought maybe the thinking would be quarterback with the 18.
Oh, okay. So like a Jordan Love.
Yes.
Right. Because I didn't like Jordan Love early.
Yes.
I remember that. I wanted Jordan Love later first, early second, because he was more of a project.
Yes. Yep.
And so he got time to sit in Green Bay for a few years, which was what a project does. And they were able to groom him properly. Not that we do that stuff. We're stupid people here. We're completely stupid people here. But I do remember that Ty in the Bronx, who is on here, Ty in the Bronx wanted Jordan Love badly. He wanted him early too, even with that 5th pick. And I was like, no, I don't want to take him that early because he's still too raw. And I think Jordan Love would not have survived here if you would have taken him at number 5. He probably would have failed and he would have been one of those guys that goes somewhere else. Look at Malik Willis, how he looked a little better because he's being coached. You know what I'm saying? Not that he's turned the corner or anything, but he looked better than he ever did at Tennessee. You know what I mean? And that's because he's sitting and learning and being educated by the proper people, you know? And that's so important. So, yeah, that part, Oscar, if I took Wirfs early, I wasn't going to take probably another lineman late. It might have been something like that, a D lineman or a quarterback or something like that, because I didn't take the quarterback at 5. I wasn't taking Tua or Herbert. I wanted Wirfs. When they took Tua, I said, hey, look, the kid can pass. You just got to, set it up around him. But do you have that video of me talking about his injury history and that, well, I want to paraphrase, if I remember correctly, because this was years ago and I haven't seen the video. But if I remember correctly, paraphrasing, I said, well, you could draft him, but he's got a long injury history and you better expect him to get injured or something along those lines.
That's pretty much exactly what you said.
Really?
Pretty much, yeah.
You have it locked and loaded, ready to go already?
No, because I'm trying to find exactly where. Again, this was before I came on board, actually. Going back to the videos, I didn't realize that it was that long ago, so I'm trying to go through to where you actually.
This month is 4 years with Bill.
Yeah, yep. So
we lost December 9, and his birthday is 5 days from now. I don't, I try to, for me personally, I relive it every damn day, but I don't try to relive it here on the show for you guys because I don't want to depress you guys. And I usually remember what I say. I'm pretty good about that, overall. And, but I took the positive road for the Dolphins. They took Tua and I said, okay, he can play, he can throw the ball. He can sling it. He's a very good passer, dude. He can be an excellent passer, but you better build around him. And they never built around him. So, if they would have built the team the right way, maybe we had a chance. But we're a stupid team, dude. That's just the way it's been for 30, 40 years. Let's see what else. And by the way, I told Sean to find the video of draft day to replay it for you guys. And that's why I asked him. So it's funny that, you kind of came up with it and we were talking about it and he hasn't, pulled the exact clip yet, but I'm going to show it to you all because, because some people would tell me, well, you were wrong about Tua. Well, I was wrong about Tua that he could play, I guess, if you want to say that. But I wasn't wrong about Tua because I didn't want to draft Tua. Because some people say, oh, you wanted Tua. No, I did not. I did not want Tua. I just went along with it. And instead of taking the complete negative road of, hey, he's got a large – I know what I said. I along the lines of he's got a long injury history. So if you draft him, you better expect him to be injured. I said that on draft day. Okay. You know what I mean? But I also had the caveat of the kid can play, but you better protect him. And we never did it. And so you never gave him a chance. And that's why I have no problem with what Tua's doing. And I got to say personally, for me, I'm rooting for the kid to get the hell out of here because I'd like to see him. If he wants to retire with his family and take his money, bro, go do it, and that's fine. I don't care. That's Steve Ross's money. Screw him. But if you want to try to come back and go back to Nick Hicks and work on your body and all that and go somewhere else, God bless you, dude. I hope you do that because I'd like closure for him. Go somewhere to find out, okay, I can't do it. Okay, that's it. I can live with it. Or I had the right person and I went out there and I had success. So I'd like to see that for him so he can get closure because this is not closure. Just like I was telling you about Ewers. I'm not judging Ewers. He was fine yesterday. Considering that clown on the sidelines, I'm good with Ewers. I'm good. Like I mentioned in the postgame show, I blame Ewers for the pass in the middle of the field because there was tight coverage. The DB was there, and it ended up an interception. But that's a young kid. He's going to force a ball or two, especially to his practice teammate and all that. Dude, I get all of that. I've been at this for a long time. I've seen that a billion times. But, you know, when I have Mike McDaniel call a play that's a fade down the sideline to Waddle, do you think I'm going to blame Ewers? Do I ever blame Tua for that shit? No, I don't. Why? Because that's not a play you call. So, well, you know, and he abandoned the run. Once they took a 10-point lead, he didn't help Ewers like he did in the first half. He stayed disciplined. Mike McDaniel is a child with a short attention span. That's what Mike McDaniel is. He's the child that gets his dad's Ferrari and vet or whatever and wraps it around a tree. That's who Mike McDaniel is. Mike McDaniel is most deaf in what's the name of that damn it, the Italian Job. Okay, isn't it most deaf that showed up on the motorcycle? No, it's was it most deaf? No, it was Seth Green, right? Seth Green on the motorcycle and he couldn't handle it, right? That's it. He's Seth Green on the motorcycle in Italian Job. That's what he is. So I want to see Tua go somewhere else and see if he can have success. And I don't blame Ewers on anything that's going on here because he's at a disadvantage with that buffoon on the sidelines. So anyway, let's see, what else do we have? Antonio Graham watching the show all the way from Savannah, Georgia. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. Appreciate all of you that watch it from different parts of the world. Thank you. Always appreciate where you put where you're watching from. That is always cool to know. Gus 1388. Jonathan Cagle in the house. He's smashing the like button. Let's go. Smash. We're not over 100 yet. Let's go. Come on. Rose says, because Dan Marino is smart, he wants to enjoy his role and not have stress at this stage of his life. And I have no problem with that. But let's stop, requesting him to be some kind of GM or something. Stop it. He had his chance. He didn't want to do it. He wants to hang out, and he's earned that right. Go for it. But, when you hear other people throwing it out there, it's like, yo, bro, let it go already. Plus, most ex-players suck at this. Gabriel Perez, what's up with you? Jack says, do you think Miami already put out feelers about coaches and GMs and found there's little interest, or is Ross lazy and doesn't want to go through the process of getting a new GM and coach? Jack, he's got to hate the process. You know why? Check out the 15 years. So you tell me, what top of the line coach or GM did he hire? None, huh? It's interesting because, I have Dolphins. Well, what happens if John Harbaugh becomes available? Well, let's see. The old man went to talk to Jim Harbaugh with another coach in place. So, John, does he want to work for a guy that is a backstabber? Let's see. John says, wait a minute, that's the owner that went behind their GM's back and lost a first and a third rounder. Yeah, that's not the guy I want to work for. The problem with some Dolphins out there, and I get it, dude, I know you want to win, but don't be delusional. The best of the best, whatever it is, head coach or GM, if they're available, and I don't know what the list is right now, and I'm not getting into it. I don't really care. To be really quite honest, I don't care. Okay, they're not getting the creme de la creme. If you're the best GM that's of the lot in the interviews realm or head coach, why would you go to Miami? Why would you work for Dumbo? Why? Why would you work for Dumbo? And by the way, with those ears and that name, because he is dumb, damn, it is just perfect. I mean, chew on that for a while if you're a Dolph fan. Just, chew on that for a while. You tell me. What does Stephen Ross do that's first class outside of spend money? Does he get first class people? No. So, why would someone first class come here? That's what I would ask you. And they never do. Now, Wayne Huizenga, he got Jimmy, he got Saban, and he got Parcells. It didn't work, but those were big names. He doesn't get any of those. None. Nada. So, just something to think about since, if you want to be honest with yourself. Eric is in the house. Happy holidays to you, sir. Frankie Fresco, Mr. Majestic, Brian Landis. Ray Grullon says, yes, you said that about two, I remember. Thank you, sir. Let's see what else. Orlando, you just gave us the reason Greer was fired first. He couldn't build a team. No, yeah, you had to. If you would have built a real wall in front of Tua, you would have survived. If you would have hired the right coach, you would have survived. Dude, like I said yesterday in the postgame show, think about this. Okay, this is why Stephen Ross is an asshole. This is why he is a useless turd. Okay? Follow me on this, because I mentioned this in the postgame show. You go to higher flow, okay? Before you sign a contract, you're sitting there with him, his agent, and you're sitting there with your GM and everybody. And, hey, before we get anything done, we have an understanding, right? We're not trying to win this year. And if you wanted to offer him the extra $100,000 for a win, you don't do it later on after you've signed him and all that. No, you do it right there in front of his agent. Hey, look, on the side, I'll give you $100,000 for every win. I'll send it to you in Bitcoin in some account on the side, and for every loss. I'll send it to you. Okay, I need to know that we are on board here because we're trying to get Joe Burrow. Then you sign the guy. And then you go to him about this, and he doesn't want to do this. So then, what the hell is wrong with you people? How stupid can you be? And then Flores takes it to another level where he wants to backstab the people that hired him. He doesn't want to draft this quarterback. He wants somebody else. He wants controlling personnel. He can't build an offensive staff. He had no people skills whatsoever. I mean, he was terrible in that building. So, you guys didn't vet all this? How stupid of a mother effer are you? That's what I'd love to just sit down and look at Stephen Ross in the eye and say, how stupid can you be, dude? You're selling Jets paraphernalia in the Dolphin shop? How stupid can you be, my brother? I'm just wondering, how stupid can you be? You have a coach in place, and you go to try to go ask Jim Harbaugh in the middle of the night if he wants to work for you. And Jim Harbaugh is now in a terrible position because you have a coach in place. That's disgusting. Even Jim Harbaugh, who's a cheater amongst all cheaters, and he proved it at Michigan, even he didn't want any part of that. That's dirty to take a job while you already have a coach in place. And for your owner to be doing all of that, that's some shady shit. And then you got to come back and make nice after all of that. It's even more embarrassing. So it's like, how stupid are you, my brother? And then your partner, your other owner tells you, no, I have an in with Brady. Let's go meet them. And it costs you a first and a third. How stupid are you, my man? I mean, I could just go on with this list over and over and over again. But think about how this initially started. You sign a guy and you did not run this by him before he signs the contract. Because I would have had the agent there, this and that. Okay, are we understanding that you're not going to try to win that first year? You got a 5-year deal here that's guaranteed. You're going to get your money. But let's have an understanding. We're trying to get Joe Burrow here. So develop young players. You're not looking to win. And then when Flo understands that and agrees, then you sign the contract and you move forward. And then you play the game in the public that you're not tanking, you're trying to win, but you're really not. Whatever. All that kind of stuff. How do you not clear that with Flores before he ever signs the contract? How is it that you did it after? How stupid can you be, old man? I'd like to ask him, how are you so successful in real estate? And we can see it with the one property you own right there in Miami Gardens. That is real estate magic, what he's done there. Okay. How are you so good at this and so stupid at this? Because the things that Stephen Ross does, it's beyond stupidity. Beyond stupidity. It's stuff that a child would do. Not a grown-ass man that's a extremely successful real estate billionaire. What kind of a first-class loser are you, Stephen Ross? How can you be this freaking stupid? You extend Mike McDaniel. You extend Joe Philbin. Bro, how can you be this stupid? That's what I'd like to know about Stephen Ross. My man, how can you be this stupid? Anyway, Rosendo is in the house. What else? Karoon, I can see Tua being really good if he takes next season off and comes back after washing off that Dolphins stank 1 or 2 more seasons. Typical Dolphin franchise. Well, we'll see, man. We'll see, because, folks, if that hip injury was what we think it was last year and how it's limited him now, or if this is more of an act, I don't know if he can come back from that. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. We'll find out. If it's not, and it's something that he can't come back from, then it'll be interesting to see that comeback. It will definitely be interesting. Delvis is in the house. He's watching from Kenya. Damn. Joel says, I'm 22 years old, and I've just accepted the fact that I won't see a winning Dolphin season until Ross is gone. Sad but true. Well, no, his kids take over. So I don't know if the apple didn't fall far from the tree. Dolphins are like an XFL team. Yeah, basically. I would agree with that. And you're young. Maybe I won't see another one because I saw the originals. But I won't see another one. But you're young. Eventually it'll happen for you, I think. Stephen Harris says, Big O, I'm still laughing how you put Furones on the spot and got him a blind-ass fan alert. Well, he tripped me out yesterday. I love David. How he thinks there's a future for McDaniel here, I don't know. I don't know what he sees. I don't know how he can say that. So I don't know, man. That one tripped me out yesterday, I gotta say. Scott is out in Alaska. Merry Christmas to you, sir. Anthony Kyle Campos, thank you, sir, for the holiday well wishes. Oh, would you trade 3 firsts to New York to get the first pick and draft Mendoza? Okay, so let's see. The Dolphins offered 4 for Joe Burrow. And you think you're going to get 3 for Mendoza from the 11th spot of the draft. 10, 11, 12, whatever you end up, because I don't know, there's 2 weeks left. Seriously. Like, you know. I'd tell you to, like, stop smoking, but I don't even think stoners would be, you know, I think you're on crack, actually. I think stoners are smarter than that, actually. Okay, listen, first of all, you're not getting Mendoza because whoever needs a quarterback and is at the top of the draft is going to take Mendoza. 1 or 2, whoever it is, and they're not trading it to anybody because that's really like the only quarterback that's coming out. And since it's the only quarterback that's coming out, 3 will not get it done. Okay? So, dude, do yourself a favor and just get into reality. You're not getting a quarterback. And if you get one, you're going to get a project quarterback somewhere in the draft and all that stuff, but you're not getting Mendoza. So, you know, I get it. You'll read all the stupid articles about how it could happen, but it'll never happen. So don't beat yourself up with that stuff because all you're going to do is disappoint yourself. Let's see. Papa in the house. Chris Greer really wanted Burrow, offered 4 first-round picks to get Burrow. Yes, but it's, you know, but you were at 5 to offer 4 to get to 1. You know, it's a lot different than my boy wants to offer 3 to come in from 10, 11, or 12. You know, that's hilarious. It's hilarious. Everybody wanted Joe Burrow. But once, you know, your coach effed it up, think about that, dude. You wanted Joe Burrow. You could have had it just by tanking, and you had a coach that wanted to just coach his ass off. You can win the Heisman and be a bust in the NFL. Oh, yeah. Archie Griffin won 2 Heismans, and he was a bust. Not one, but 2. Okay. What else? Pat in Asheville. Ross and his kids in the future only look at the profit and loss, not the wins and losses. Truth. Exactly. And boy, they are making profits. They are making profits. People tell me, oh, well, he spends. Bro, you know how much money he's got coming in? What he has going out is nothing compared to what he has coming in. So what he spends and those salaries and all that, who cares? He gets so much more back. Pat is right. Horn Dog, oh, I became a grandpa today. Congratulations, my friend. I can't make my granddaughter a Dolphin fan. No, I think from now on, we need to send all you people, you know, to social services for sure. Because, you know, if you're making your kid a Dolphin fan, I think I got to say that what's his name now? I'm forgetting his name now. The dude that used to hit his kids with the switch. The running back. What's his name? Minnesota Vikings, Oklahoma.
Adrian Peterson.
Adrian Peterson. You people are worse than Adrian Peterson hitting his kids with a switch. Okay? I mean, that is child delinquency right there. You're making your kid a Dolphin fan. That's some cruel shit, dude. That's some cruel shit you know what you've been through the last 30 years, and you're making your new child walk into that? That's just wrong. It's just wrong. Wrong. Calling child services on all of you out there. Nova Curb says, what redeeming qualities does Ross and Furones see in McNerd? I don't know. I don't know. I tried to squeeze it out of Furones yesterday. You can hear the interview there. You can go check it out. I don't get it. I don't think Burrow is completely broken like Tua. I just think Burrow is tired of being part of a shitty franchise. That's all, dude. When you're in Cincinnati, you're done, bro. You're done. And you had your one window, and it's done. That's it. Big O, if Tua retires, I still tank for the next 2 to 3 years. Yeah, just make sure you hire a coach that knows how to tank. So, B Stuck says, what's up, Big O? Is there anything in the Flores lawsuit that could come to light and potentially force Ross to sell the team? No, none of that. Anyway, we're not guilty of anything here. He's talking about racial stuff. Dude, it was 3 black general managers that hired him. So there's no, and again, you drafted a black quarterback, you hired a black GM, 3 black GMs, and you hired a black coach. Yeah, I don't think racial inequality is an issue with the Miami Dolphins. He says race had something to do with his other interviews and all of that. But here, unless he's going to take them to court for the whole $100,000 stuff and all that, whatever, who gives a shit about that? That's not going to do anything to Ross. Nothing. Let's see. Better to make my kids a Big O fan than a Dolphin fan. Well, yes, because at least we'll keep them in reality. Okay? That's the good thing. We won't let them get too crazy about things when they shouldn't be getting crazy about it. My honest assessment of Ewers doesn't change. I like what I saw. I think he can compete and be a backup quarterback. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. I still love you. Oh, I still love you. Only slightly less than I used to, my love. So, yes, I like what I saw from Ewers overall. I did. I thought he did all right considering the situation. If he had a better coach, he'd be actually looking a little better. But he has a terrible coach, so the coach is going to set him up for failure. But I like Ewers. I've liked Ewers since he was drafted, but I like him to be in competition for a backup position. I've never looked at him as a starter. That's all. And nothing's changed. I didn't see anything there that said to me, oh, my God, yes, he's a starter right now. Yeah, no. But I did like what I saw overall. I do. Let's talk a little bit about Acura Pembroke Pines, a proud sponsor of our program, and we love talking about it because they have got the Season of Performance sales event going on right now, and the ADX, $239 a month. You can get it for 4.9% financing for 60 months. The Integra, $279 a month, 3.9% financing for 60 months. The RDX, $359 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. The TLX, $339 a month, 4.9% financing for 60 months. They've also got a fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. And when you drive onto the lot, one of the things that I love about Larry Schlossberg is that lot is overflowing constantly. So you're going to have a nice selection of vehicles. So whatever you're looking for, you can see several models, several colors, several styles. That way you pick the car you want, the color you want, the style you want, the model you want. But more importantly, the price you want. They are the number 1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. And you're not going to be driving around the Southeast United States comparing prices. You don't have to. It's in your backyard at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. And by the way, we have a service center that is outstanding. Mike Chan, Jordan Ferber, nice place to relax. They got TVs, tables. You can do your work. They got a little cafeteria there. So if you want to get a pastelito, a drink, a coffee, a cafe, got it all for you there, man. At, of course, Acura of Pembroke Pines. All right. Remember, you can make a donation to the show. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App, or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. Rob Erickson, thank you for the love on Venmo. He says, happy holidays. Oh, sorry I haven't been tuning in when you are live. Appreciate you guys. How do you feel about Bain and Maui Noah? Just curious. If a QB isn't your first pick, how about one of these guys? Thank you. I have no problem with that. I have no problem to continue building the offensive lines and defensive lines. I will have no problem with that. I'd like to get another guard. I'd like to get another tackle. I'd like to get another end, pass rusher. So, yeah, any of those things can go at number 10, 11, 12, whatever it is that Miami is picking. Yeah, get me something on either side of the line. Continue to build those lines. For sure, dude. For sure. Yeah, that would be definitely a priority for the Dolphins. Hateful Steve is in the house. Thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He says, I think Tua's opportunity will come when a really good team loses a QB to injury for the season. I don't think anyone will try to rebuild him or build a team around him. Well, they still have never built a team around him. That's the problem. You know, anybody that tells you they built the team around him is full of shit. You know, when you build a team around this kind of quarterback, statues, when you build around statues, you must build walls in front of them, like you do in Matt Stafford. You build a wall. You got to have a strong running game. They have 2 running backs. You got to have tight ends, which they waited till the 3rd and 4th years to use the tight end, sort of. You got to have a big receiver, would be nice to also help for shorter, quarterbacks. All these kind of things at how you're supposed to build a team. Things that they don't do. Although he has brought the bigger receivers, it's just a moron head coach doesn't use them, which is Ikini. How does that guy score 9 touchdowns with no quarterback in Tennessee, and he can't find the field here? You're a bad coach. So we'll see. I don't know. I don't know what will happen with Tua, Steve, because if that hip is really an issue, then he's done. He's going to retire and walk off into the sunset because physically right now he doesn't look like he can play the position. But this might be part of the act. Okay, so I don't know. It's an intriguing one, and we'll find out. Time will answer all. I know this. If Tua wants to come back and somehow gets an opportunity, he'll be quarterbacking somewhere, and we still won't have a quarterback anyway. So it is what it. But I'm glad he gets to move on because we're not going to build it right around him anyways. We never have. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, says, I am a blind-ass fan on this. I like Chucky. If we're going to have a poor team next few years, might as well have an exciting sideline. Yeah, I can't, bro. I can't go Chucky. I cannot. No. Oh, God, no. I don't like him at all. Plus, again, we need what's it called? A GM first and foremost. Okay. That's what we need. If you get a GM, then all of a sudden you let that person make those kind of decisions on who's going to be the coach, whatever. But that's how I'd like to do it. But then again, we're talking about Stephen Ross, who is already throwing out there that McDaniel's coming back. And I get the feeling that they're going to go the lazy route and say, well, we've gotten to know Champ here for the last month or two. We like him. We're gonna give him a chance moving forward, and that kind of garbage, which would be just an enormous mistake to do that. But again, it's okay. So you hired Mike McDaniel when nobody was interviewing and wanted Mike McDaniel, and you're gonna hire Champ Kelly, who nobody wants. Oh, folks, what can I tell you? What can I tell you? I can tell you that Bitcoin is at 89,700. So it's farting around the 90,000 area. Okay. Johnny chiming in on the super chat says, at what point does the NFL step in on the SeaWorld logo Pee-wee uniforms? After all, the Dolphins are a classic storied franchise. NFL has nothing to do with that. The owner controls the uniforms. And Marino told us that the whale is his baby and he's not letting it go. Hey, like I've said to you all, okay, Johnny, bail on the whale. We can't get rid of the owner. We're stuck with the owner and his kids, okay? But you can do something about it. You can stop buying the whale, okay? Even if you buy the classic logo, yeah, he'll profit from that. But if you all leave the whale on all the shelves everywhere and it doesn't sell, that would be an enormous signal to him, because people are still going to buy tickets. They're going to go to games. You know, he knows he has everybody by the balls. That's why he can sit there and laugh. Go ahead, Sean, put the picture up. This is why Stephen Ross can sit there and laugh, literally laugh and enjoy himself in the press box. You watch Jerry Jones when they're losing, and he is literally eating his liver right in front of you there in the press box. He looks like he has a constipated face, like he is crapping in his diapers at that moment. This man, that's him in the box yesterday. And the score is there. If you see it, the route is on. You're down by a ton. And there he is laughing. See, 45-14. And there he is, laughing it up, yucking it up, dude. I've been around Jorge Mas when Inter Miami is losing, and it's not really pleasant, which I have no problem with that. I have zero issue with that. If you're the owner and your team is losing and you're pissed, dude, I respect it. And I just, in those moments, I would just keep my space, give, George some time and just let it go. You know what I mean? Because the man has a lot of money on the line. He's pissed and it's not working. He has every right to be pissed. Look at this asshole. Look at this asshole. Like for me, I own the team and I'm this bad 15 years in. I don't even know if I would show up. I don't know if I would have tinted glass on the whole thing so nobody can see inside. I'd be so embarrassed because I'm not living up to what there you go. Because he doesn't give a shit about the people in the seats. He laughs at those people. They're suckers. All you people in the seats, to him, they're suckers. Because he's making his money on the F1 race and the hospital and the tennis tournament and the Canes, and everybody comes in for the Dolphins and all the concerts, and he is printing money on that property. So he never loses. So his team being a clown show, he doesn't care. There is no reason to be smiling while you're in the box and the Dolphins are playing. None whatsoever. If he's in the box and he's watching a Celine Dion concert and he's smiling, okay, he enjoys Celine Dion. It's not football at the moment, okay. When you're in that box, that's not what I want to see. By the way, is the team president laughing? Just wondering. It seems like Tom Garfinkel kind of gets optics and, he doesn't want to be laughing in the box, but there's the old geezer. That's for your season tickets right there. That guy doesn't give a shit. Rather be 3-14 as a Dolphin than 14-3 as Whales, says Johnny. Says, I'm done till that changes, Big O. Seriously. I feel you. Says, can Jorge Mas buy the Dolphins? He could, but they're not for sale. So we're screwed. We are screwed, unfortunately. Let's see. A lot of folks don't know that was a huge mistake. Came in the second after the Dolphins for the team name in 1965. What were you talking about? What was the? I don't know. That was a huge mistake. Came second after the Dolphins. What was first? What were we talking about here? What's the team name? Oh, Whale was the first, and then Dolphins. Is that what you're saying? But you got no, seriously. You all should bail on the Whale. Don't buy the Whale. It'll be awesome if all of a sudden people go to Stephen Ross in the building or wherever he's at, and, sir, there seems to be a stop at buying the Dolphin new logo. No one is buying the new logo anymore. And that's his baby. That's how you give the middle finger to Stephen Ross. You don't buy or wear the new logo. That's all. Wear the old logo. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be Dolphin fans no matter what. But wear the old logo and buy only old logo. Don't buy the new logo at all. Send the message. That's it. Yes, sir.
Do you want to hear some of the names that could have possibly been the Dolphins instead?
Oh, yeah. I you know what? I don't know anything about that story, actually.
Yeah. Apparently, when they were awarded the team, they put out a name the team competition in Miami.
Like they do everything.
19,000 entries, 1,000 name possibilities. 12 local media members decided on the team name Dolphins from the 12 finalists, including the Mariners, the Marauders, the Mustangs, the Missiles, the Moons, the Sharks, the Suns, the Stingrays, and the Panthers.
Okay, of course, Florida Panther. Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of names there that it could have been that is associated with us. All right. Interesting. I didn't,
No whale, though. No whale.
No whale. No whale. Now we have the whale on the damn logo. Bail on the whale, folks. I'm telling you. Bail on that stinking whale. That's what you got to do. Send that message to that dude that you know, everything that he does is unacceptable. And until he starts winning playoff games, you don't buy that whale logo ever again. I mean, I've never bought it myself. So, you know, I'm a different breed than most folks out there. I'm kind of, you know, I'm a hard ass. So, you know, some of you out there, you're kind of softies, and so you'll buy the new logo and all that kind of stuff. For me, I'm staying with the real logo, not that bullshit logo. But that is a way to send them a message, to dump that whale logo. Put it all on social media. Burn all your whale logos. Big O, Merry Christmas to you and Sean. Who's changing the graphic now on the birthday since Tua's gone? Barkov, I think. What does he mean by that?
He has been on a mission to get Tua taken off the birthday banner that we have.
Birthday banner?
The billboard, the birthday billboard. Sorry, there. He wants Tua off. He wants Tua replaced because apparently, since Tua's no longer a Dolphins quarterback, he no longer has a birthday either.
I see. All right. Well, once he's no longer a Dolphin, then we can, change it up. We'll see. Maybe we can. We'll put somebody else. Yeah. Dolphins was first, a huge mistake, came in second, then so wait a minute, but what was he meaning by Dolphins was first, a huge mistake, came in second for team nickname in 65?
I don't know because I don't have the rankings of what actually was second.
Okay.
I guess it's one of those the finalist names, one of those 12, maybe the missiles. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, yeah, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's interesting. I'm not saying Ewers is the answer, but I'm just excited to see what he's got and if he can overcome McDummy and Ross. Oh. Juan, why would you say that, dude? Why would you say that? Nobody can overcome that. You can't. So next year, hopefully there's a new coach and that'll help Ewers out. Yes, sir.
Pat Nashville actually came in and said that the second name should have been the Miami, a huge mistakes. The name is what he was referring to.
I got it now. Okay. All right. Oh, man. Rough. All right, let's get to our 3A graphics sports calendar. Knicks last night, they defeated the Heat 132-125. Miami drops to 15-14. Ware had a great night. 28 points, 19 rebounds, 5 of 7 from three-point range, and a steal. But Miami is 2-8 in their last 10 games. Tuesday, they take on Toronto at 7:30. Panthers will be back in action tonight. Tuesday, 7 o'clock. Panthers taking on the Hurricanes. They are, by the way, 7-2 in their last 9 games. So they are making the climb back to get into the playoffs. So let's hope that continues. Dolphins obviously lost yesterday. That was ugly. 45-21 to the Cincinnati Bengals. What can I tell you? Anyway, the Dolphins will take on the Buccaneers on Sunday at 1 o'clock. Tampa Bay is favored by 5. Over and under is 46. Minus 250 for the Buccaneers. Plus 200 for the Miami Dolphins. Tonight, we've got NFL action. Monday Night Football. San Francisco visiting Indy. San Fran's favored by 5. The over and under is 46. San Fran minus 260 on the money line. Indy is plus 210 on the money line. And over the weekend, in a very satisfactory event for a lot of us, Anthony Joshua knocked out that bum, Jake Paul. And the Miami Hurricanes, best news of all, beat Texas A&M 10-3 to advance in the college football playoffs. They will take on Ohio State December 31st. UM, by the way, is plus 300 on the money line. Ohio State is minus 400. The Buckeyes are favored by 9.5 points. The over and under is 42.5. That is your 3A graphics sports calendar. If you need custom printing and embroidery, please reach out to my guy, Alan Blanco, 786-618-1443. All right. By the way, that was fun watching Anthony Joshua knock out Jake Paul. What were you going to say there, Sean?
I don't know if you saw this yet, but about 10 minutes ago, Alex Dono put out Mark Fletcher's coming back for his senior season with the Miami Hurricanes in 2026. And that was for David Hale of ESPN as well.
Wow. So David Hale broke the story of Fletcher coming back for his senior season. Wow. Okay. All right. He's a man's man. I've been a huge Mark Fletcher fan. Well, you know what? Running backs aren't appreciated. He's going to be drafted probably in the second or third rounds, not the first. You're not going to make nearly as much money, so he probably will come back and get a fat check. And so why not? And maybe a chance at a national championship. Okay. All right. I got no problem with that. I'm just kind of thinking professionally for him, but I kind of understand it because that, running backs are kind of underappreciated. What if he falls to the third or fourth round? And then all of a sudden he's not making that much money, so he's better off making as much bank as he can this last year before he goes to the NFL. Okay. That makes sense. How about Charles Barkley? I saw this story with Charles Barkley, and I thought about something going on here locally. And I'm going to first go over the Charles Barkley story. So Barkley can pinpoint the particular moment when it all went downhill between him and Michael Jordan. The retired basketball star, he was on the Tom Tolbert show, and they asked him about his relationship with Jordan. And he said his friendship with Jordan soured after he criticized Jordan's ability as a general manager on TV. I remember he called me that night and went ballistic on me, telling me you're supposed to be my best friend and you go do that bullshit, blah, 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 blah. Man, I got to do my job, he told him. And I said, you haven't done a good job as a general manager. And that's my job, to be honest, Barkley added. How can I criticize other people and give you a pass? When other guys make bad draft picks, I call them out on it too. And he just cursed me out up and down. And we have not spoken since that night. It was a very difficult thing for me because the guy was like really my best friend at the time. But if you want to do this job, you're going to have an opinion. And if you want to have friendships, well, those friendships are going to cost you. Right? So I just mention it because locally, and he's a great dude, and I don't mean anything negative by this at all, but I got to call it like I see it. You got Teron Armstead, again, fantastic human being, great character guy, all of that. And by the way, he can do this job on broadcasting. Now, Teron Armstead is probably going down the path, which, by the way, our business is littered with people that play the PC role and want to be everybody's friend. If that's what Teron Armstead wants to do, he can go do that. But, he's throwing shit out there like Mike McDaniel will return and that Tua will be your starter in week 1. But, I get it, dude. You still have relationships with people. You don't want to ruin relationships. You don't want to really be honest about what's going on. You have a relationship with Mike McDaniel, and obviously the team in McDaniel signed you and kept you around and gave you a lot of money. And so I get that you have a sense of loyalty to them, but this is why I commend Barkley, because what else are you going to say about Michael Jordan as a general manager? He's freaking horrible, dude. He's horrible. He's one of the worst general managers of all time. And Barkley is right. If you're criticizing other general managers for bad picks and bad drafts, and then they ask you about Michael Jordan, what are you going to say? Then you're going to, oh, no, well, I'm friends with Michael. He's doing his best and all. Be phony. And again, nothing personal against Teron Armstead. And for you fans out there, I'm sure you watch the show, and I'm sure he'll get some of the ex-players on or current players on, so you get to have those conversations. But I'm sure they're also softball conversations because so far you're a softball host. Sorry. You know, you're not willing to call it like you see it. It is what it is. But it's, it's cute stuff. You'll get a definitely a good level of the fan base that will follow you and all that kind of stuff. Because of course he's also a former player. He's very likable. He's got a great personality. He could easily do this job. And if he wants to go down that road, he'll have no problem. He'll be employed forever. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. But it's also a lot of bullshit that goes on because, you're listening to a show that in the end doesn't have the guts to be honest. Anyway, a lot of people want to get behind the mic and then they want to do this job, but some of them really can't because they can't really do what they need to do, By the way, Welton Rayom, proud sponsors of our program. We love talking about Jeff Welton, Daniel Rayom, bankruptcy, homeowner property damage, condo damage, criminal defense, business owner claims, commercial litigation, personal injury. They have their own adjusters. So if you have any damage to your home or business or condo, never call the insurance companies. They send over their adjusters, but they're working for them, not for you. You call Welton Rayom, they send their own adjusters. They'll make sure they assess the real damage and the money that you deserve. Just like I did when, some kids went through the wall of our house and Progressive didn't want to pay up the way they were supposed to. Well, Welton Rayom brought them to their knees. 954-966-4646. Tell them that Big O sent you. 954-966-4646. The consultation is completely free. Let's see. Yes, it was nice to see the old uniforms yesterday. Big O, I'm here at your favorite chicken place, Bojangles. I just opened one in Melbourne, and the one and only one. Wow. We have none here in South Florida. Well, at least I don't think there's any here in South Florida. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure Dayton Broward doesn't have a Bojangles. I don't even think we have one in West Palm. But anyway, yeah, I haven't been to Bojangles in a while, dude. When last time I went to Bojangles, I was in North Carolina for the ACC Media Days, and I went to Bojangles for breakfast. And I had their chicken biscuit sandwich, and it was good. I enjoyed it. Isn't Barkley the DA that lost over $10 million gambling? Oh, you mean DA? Well, he's a former basketball player, but yeah, he lost a lot of money gambling. Yes, yeah, he's a bad gambler. I was told by a friend of mine that worked with Barkley. Not going to tell you how he worked with Barkley. But he was on the same team as Barkley the days of the Rockets. And, dude, he was constantly on his phone betting, is what I'm told. Constantly. So, yeah, he had quite an addiction to gambling. I don't know how bad it is nowadays. Luckily for him, he was able to make his money back in broadcasting, and he's made a ton of money in broadcasting. But, yeah, he's lost a ton also in gambling. Let's see. Why do the Finns always revert back to the old logo and jerseys when the franchise is on fire? No, these things usually are planned out already. So it just happens to be a coincidence. What else? Jeff in Long Island. To Frankie Fresco, did you hear that Big O said yesterday that he was wrong about what he thought about the organization 3 years ago? Is Mike McDaniel coming back, Big O? What do you think, yes or no? I would say no, but we have a stupid owner, so he would bring him back. You know what I mean? We have a stupid owner. If we had an owner with brains, that would be a whole different ballgame. But we have a stupid owner, unfortunately. So DK Metcalf hits a Lions fan. And look, you can't do that. In the end, you cannot do that. Now, sometimes there are fans that do deserve to get hit. Tom Pelissero, by the way, is now reporting that DK Metcalf had a history with the Lions fan he confronted on Sunday. Metcalf reported the same fan to the Seahawks security last season while playing for Seattle, and the NFL is reviewing the incident for potential discipline. So, Ocho Cinco, who has zero credibility, but, he is a former player, and he might have the guy's number, and he might have talked to him or whatever, but I've seen Ocho Cinco say so many stupid things on his show or Shay show or wherever the hell it is that he's on, those clips I've seen in the past. And apparently there was a racial thing said to him and maybe even a comment about his mother. That's what Chad says DK told him. Now, Ryan Kennedy, the Lions fan that DK pushed, he says he called him Decalen Zacharias Metcalf. And that's what got the rise out of him, which is his real name, his full name, Decalen Zacharias Metcalf. Okay, so I don't know what's real. There are mics everywhere. If there's a chance that the NFL has a audio recording of this and the exchange between the two, then maybe we can clear this up. But I'll tell you this. One, he needs to get suspended either way. But two, if something racial was said from behalf of the Ryan Kennedy guy, he needs to be banned for life. And if there's any other legal issues that you can go after him, for DK or anybody else, whatever, fine. Any legal action you can take, go ahead and take it. But what I would do immediately is ban him from all sporting events in Seattle. And I would ban him from all NFL games everywhere. That's what I would do with him. You got to penalize the person too. You can't let them just get away with that kind of behavior. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable, folks. All right. Oh, man. By the way, Christmas Day, we've got Dallas and Washington. We won't be here on Christmas Day. We're going to take that off. But Sean and I are working on Wednesday at Subaru and Friday at Acura. Right? Is it this Friday we're at Acura, right? Because it's the last Friday, right? Yes. Yeah. Well, is it the last Friday? Oh, it is, right? Oh, it is. Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Yeah, it has to be. That's right. Yeah. There's no way it gets to the 31st for the following Friday. That's right. Too bad. But anyway, we will be working Wednesday and Friday. I swear, if that Friday wasn't the last Friday of the month, I would have told Sean, let's take off Thursday and Friday. But we got to do what we got to do. Anyway, on Thursday at 1 o'clock, you got Dallas and Washington. Dallas favored by 5.5. At 4:30, you got Detroit and Minnesota. Detroit favored by 5.5. And then at 8:15, Denver and KC. And Denver's favored by 13. Like 3 absolutely shitty games. Nobody cares about Dallas and Washington right now. 2 non-playoff teams. Who cares? Detroit is at Minnesota. Minnesota is nothing this year. You know what I mean? And then Denver and KC has mailed it in completely. They got their asses torched by Tennessee yesterday. Felt good for Cam Ward, by the way. He had a good game yesterday. But not necessarily the sexiest of matchups. I'm thinking, can you flex the Denver KC game? Is it too late? Damn. That's bad. And Kelsey's retiring after this. He's not going to finish out. He's got so much money, makes so much money with the podcast. He's made plenty of money. He can leave that money on the table. Plus, his wife is a super billionaire. Yeah, well, not his wife, not yet, but eventually they look legit, dude. They look legit. They really do. Right. Looking around the NFL, Bills beat the Browns 23-20. Cook had 117 yards on the ground. The Bills are 11-4. Cook also had 2 touchdowns. Shedeur Sanders, 157 yards, a touchdown, 2 interceptions, 20 of 29. Didn't play bad, actually. It's the stats don't really kind of speak, but he was all right, actually. And he is definitely their starter moving forward. By the way, should the Dolphins have drafted him? Since you know your quarterback situation. Hindsight. Chargers over the Cowboys. The Cowboys are a disaster. They're back to being a disaster. Justin Herbert, by the way, threw 300 yards in that game, 34-17. Chargers are 11-4. Dallas 6-8-1. Tennessee over the Chiefs 26-9. Cam Ward 21 of 28, 228 and 2 touchdowns. KC is 6-9. Saints defeat the Jets 29-6. Panthers over the Bucks. Where Miami plays the Bucks this week. Panthers beat them 23-20. Tampa Bay 7-8 and Carolina's 8-7. Didn't see that coming with Carolina at all. Jags over the Broncos. Did not see this with the Jags. 11-4. They beat them 34-20. Trevor Lawrence. I'm a Trevor Lawrence guy, so it's nice to see him kind of turn the corner. 279 and 3 touchdowns. Parker Washington, 6 receptions, 145 yards and a touchdown. The Steelers over the Lions. The fraudulent Steelers are now 9-6. The Lions are 8-7, dude. Goff had 3 touchdowns and 364 yards. Pats over the Ravens, 28-24. New England improves to 12-3. Baltimore drops to 7-8. Lamar Jackson, 7 of 10 for 101 yards. 2 rushes for 7 yards, and then he left with a back injury. But hey, for you Lamar people out there, don't worry, folks. He'll come back next year, and next year is going to be his year. Okay? You all hang in there. Stay positive. It's going to happen. They're going to turn the corner one day. Okay? Because, you know, Lamar is a great quarterback. Fantastic. Amazing. The passing skills are second to none. But don't worry, next year you can tell me how it's going to be Lamar's year. Like you have the year before that and the year before that and the year before that and the year before that. It's all right. Don't worry about it. We're looking forward to next year being Lamar Jackson's year. Okay? Just want to make sure, you know, you're all good. You're all good in the hood. All right. Let's do this. On Saturday, you need to find difference makers. And the Canes found themselves a Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game.
Who brought the edge? Who changed the game? Who is our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker? When you want to give your home or business the edge, call Cutter's Edge Pro in South Florida for all your landscape solutions. Here's our Cutter'sEdgePro.com difference maker.
You know, the Texas offensive line, Texas A&M offensive line was talking crap. They said, Ruben Bain, he's just another guy. And I don't know if you caught any of the videos after the game, but they focused in on Ruben in the locker room. And he turned around to the camera and he told Texas A&M to go F themselves. And that they're all bitches. After he finished with 5 tackles, 3 sacks. Mesidor had a sack and a half. Keelante Scott had 2 sacks. So, I don't want to leave the other guys out. They were fantastic. But when we talk about our Cutter's Edge Pro difference maker of the game, we got to give Ruben Bain, a lot of love. And he deserves it, dude. Just like my guy, William Quigley, has been getting it done in Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach counties. Landscape, outdoor lighting, irrigation, artificial grass. They do it all for you, folks. And tell them that Big O sent you. 954-472-0622. Tree trimming, outdoor lighting, landscape design, synthetic turf. My dogs love the synthetic turf, and it's the easiest thing to maintain. We've had ours for 3+ years, almost 4 years now, and I don't even have to cut the grass. I don't have to water the grass, so I'm saving myself a lot of money in the long run. It's a beautiful thing because now you're cutting the grass every 11 days, 14 days, 17 days, and that's money. But you don't have to do that because the grass always looks great. You never have to cut it, and you never have to water it, so you're also saving water. It's a beautiful thing, man. Call them, 954-472-0622, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach counties. It enhances the value of your home and your business. Visit my guy. Call him. Call William Quigley at cuttersedgepro.com.
The Cutter's Edge Pro Difference Maker is brought to you by cuttersedgepro.com, servicing HOAs, condominiums, townhomes, commercial properties, corporate parks, malls throughout South Florida. cuttersedgepro.com, providing South Floridians the edge every day of the year.
All right. Let's see. We have one Florida team that has a chance. How about those Jags? Frankie wants to ask you, is Dom Mysterio seriously injured, Sean?
Yes, he is. How severe, I do not know.
Okay. All right. Jim, thank you for the kind words. I don't know about best in the biz, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Very nice of you. Brett says, no doubt CBS, Cowboy Station, will tout Dallas, Washington game as the next chapter in their great rivalry. LOL. Yeah. It still holds true today after watching the NFL for over 55 years. Now that a team with a QB that runs first, i.e. Lamar Jackson, then passes, cannot and does not win championships. Well, no, that's not true. We can't, Jim. We can't say it because the guy that did it last year got it done. Because Jalen Hurts is a mediocre passer. He's a runner more than a passer. But if you have a dominant offensive line, a dominant defensive line, you could get it done. You have to have that. You have to be that dominant in order to get it. Plus, Saquon Barkley was playing out of his mind last year, which he's not this year. But, yeah, their running offense is what carried them. And then he only needed to make a couple of passes. I'm with you in general. You're not going to win with those kind of guys in big moments. But unless you have the Eagles' offensive and defensive lines, which are supremely dominant, then you've got yourself a chance. That's when you definitely have a chance. I would have to, we have to call it like we see it, as they say. All right, folks. Before I tell you about Puka Nacua, let me do this, okay? Let me give you some singers, musicians born on this date, okay? I'm all about that brace. I'm all about that brace. Meghan Trainor, all right? Born in 1933. And she's about that brace, not the bass, okay? The baby, Jonathan Lindale Kirk, born in 1991. Jordan Sparks, actress, singer, American Idol, born in 1989. Cute girl. I don't know how she looks now, but she was a cute girl back in the American Idol days. Let's see who else celebrating birthdays. Lorraine McKenna, co-writing hit single Girl Crush and performed by Little Big Town. McKenna also, along with Lady Gaga, Natalie Hemby, and Hillary Lidson, wrote the second single off the soundtrack to the 2018 film A Star is Born. Always remember us this way. She's got some skills. Born in 68. Let's see who else is celebrating birthdays today. Maurice Gibb from the Bee Gees, born in 49. We lost him in 2012 due to cancer, unfortunately. Rick Nielsen, born in 48 on this date from Cheap Trick. Barry Jenkins, drummer from The Animals, born in 44. James Gurley, guitarist with Big Brother and the Holding Company, born in 1939. Now we go with other famous people celebrating birthdays today. Remember, if I don't give you an age, that means they are no longer with us. TV personality Gene Rayburn, born in 1917. Classic. Actress Barbara Billingsley, Leave It to Beaver, born in 1915. Actor Hector Elizondo, he's still with us, born in 36. He is 89, Hector. Wow. Hall of Famer Steve Carlton, born in 44. He is 81. He used to do that on the mound. Let's see what else. Former TV news anchor Diane Sawyer, born in 45. She's 80. By the way, Robin Gibb is also celebrating a birthday today and still also passed away, born in 49. Ralph Fiennes, the actor, born in 62. He is 63. Musician Vanessa Paradis, born in 72. She's 53. Who else? Actress Madeline McGraw, born in 2008. She is 17. That is it there. Sean Stanley, do you have wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir. Valentino Rossi turns 34. Sin Cara, or Mystico, is 43. And good brother Luke Gallows turns 42 on December 22nd, 2025.
Rossi Asti Spumanti. Was that what he also drinks? All right, let's go with music history. You got to be old to know what the hell I just did right there, bro. Like, really, like, you got to be old. In 63, on this date in music history, the Dave Clark Five scored their only U.S. #1 single with Over and Over, a #5 hit in the UK. In 73, Elton John started a 2-week run at #1 on the UK album charts with Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. It also had an 8-week run at #1 on the US album charts. In 79, Rupert Holmes escaped the Pina Colada song, hit #1 on the Hot 100. It retained the top spot for 2 more weeks, making it the last chart topper of the 70s and the first of the 80s. If you like Pina Colada, getting caught in the rain. Let's see. In 87, after a night of debauchery, my kind of night, with Robin Crosby of Rat and Slash from Guns N' Roses, Motley Crue bass player Nikki Sixx suffered a drug overdose and his heart stopped beating. An EMT administered a shot of adrenaline to get Sixx's heart beating again. The incident later inspired Sixx to write Motley Crue's 1989 hit song, Kickstart My Heart. Great song, too, by the way. Great song. In 2004, Joe Cocker died of lung cancer in Crawford, Colorado at the age of 70. The singer had a career lasting of more than 40 years, with hits including his cover of the Beatles, With a Little Help from My Friends. You are so beautiful, up where we belong. He received an order of the British Empire at Buckingham Palace for service to his music in 2011 and was ranked number 97 on Rolling Stone's 100 Greatest Singers list in 2008. Joe Cocker is underrated. Maybe the ugliest singer of all time. Okay? The guy just looked uncomfortable on stage, always sweaty. He sweated more than Patrick Ewing in the fourth quarter. Okay? Joe Cocker was not a person you wanted to stand next to while he was performing. And then he made all these faces and all this kind of stuff. But you take all that away and just listen to the voice and the music. He was phenomenal, dude. He was phenomenal. Rest in peace. He was awesome. 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 Let's see. What else do we have? Let me see if there's any birthdays that were not mentioned in the other list. Sometimes. Luke Campbell to Live Crew. He is 65 today. How about that? Uncle Luke wasn't on that list, but he's on this one. I like it. And that is it. That's the only name that was missing from that list. We got Uncle Luke in there. All right. Not sure how many of you were with us on Saturday in the post-game show. And then we were also, we had a great conversation over there at the Fort Lauderdale United and had a really, really good time with Levaney. One of the stories that I wanted to get out, I talked a little bit about it, but I just wonder what goes on in people's minds sometimes and who they are. And Puka Nacua has had one hell of a week. And I want to know how stupid Puka Nacua is of a human being, or how evil he is of a human being. Is he evil? Is he incredibly stupid? So it starts the week where he ends up on the Aiden Ross podcast. First of all, does he know who Aiden Ross is? Like, this is one dude that spews all kinds of hate messages on a consistent basis. Like, racism and Aiden has kind of gone hand in hand. It's kind of the way it's come off. So you're on that podcast, and then you're also doing a touchdown dance that happens to be also an anti-Semite message. So they get you to do the dance and all that, and it's like they're making fun of you in a way, and even though they're enjoying it with you, but they're also like making you look like a horse's ass. And then you come out after the game this past week where you had a hell of a game, and you rip the referees, but you have to take down the tweet. And then on top of all of that, in another interview, you tell people that concussions are not real. That, let me make sure let me quote it. I also believe that concussions are all in your head. You just can't think about it. They're all in your head. Well, he's kind of right. Concussion is in your head. It's not in your kneecap. It's not on your elbow. I'm getting it drained today, by the way. Getting it drained this afternoon, thank God. Anyway, it's not in your elbow. So, of course, it's in your head. So he goes on to say, so concussions aren't real. It's all in your head. He goes, if you can't get up and walk, then it's pretty real. He's talking about ACLs. He goes, well, ACLs are different. Those are pretty real. If you can't get up and walk, it's pretty real. But, in the concussion, if you a little tipsy, just shake it off and you're ready to go. So, folks, remember, concussions, they're not real, dude. They're not real. Puka just tells you that. Okay? Puka has shown that he is a really intelligent person over the last week. Intelligent about who he hangs around with, intelligent in the kind of hand signals that he uses, and he's Definitely. He slept in a Holiday Inn, so he knows that concussions aren't real. It's all in your head. Yeah. Those headaches, it's all in your head. For sure. The lightheadedness, it's all in your head. Yeah, dude. I mean, any of us that have suffered concussions, we know they're not real. It's just smelling salt and you're fine. That's it. That's all. Look at Tua. He doesn't get concussed easier and easier nowadays. Not at all. I mean, that hit against Hamlin. Wow, that was a real train wreck. But concussions aren't real. So let me ask you something. If concussions aren't real, Sean, why are we worried about Tua? Why are we worried? Puka Nakua's not worried about it. If Dr. Nakua is not worried about Tua Tagovailoa, then I think we're all full of shit here. Look, my eyes are going to turn brown soon. I'm so full of shit. Concussions aren't real, folks. So I say we bring back Tua. We sign Jordan Reed at tight end. Bring him back from Florida and all the concussions he had with the Redskins, because he was a Redskin, and other teams. I think he was on a couple of other teams. He had like 9 concussions, but those aren't real. Those aren't real. So I think we bring him in and we have no problem. Because shake it off. It's nothing. Tua's been trying to tell you that for a while, but we won't listen. But we should all listen to Puka Nakua. Concussions aren't real. So there's no reason to worry about Tua and the concussions. Next time somebody tells you, oh, no, Tua has too many concussions, you tell them, bro, have you talked to Puka Nakua? Have you talked to Dr. Nakua? And when they look at you like, what are you talking about? Well, Puka says concussions are all in your head. So they're not real. They're a fig Newton of your imagination. Okay? So I'm just trying to pass it on because we're about to make a huge mistake. We're letting go of Tua. We think he's concussion prone, and that does not exist. According to Dr. Nakua, concussion prone does not exist. That's all in your head. So I just want to make sure before we make the grave mistake of letting go Tua, we talk to Dr. Nakua about Tua and we keep him. Better yet, we trade Tua to the Rams for Matt Stafford, and Tua and Nakua can coexist together. I like it. The Tua Nakua combination. Tua to Nakua. There we go. And Nakua can be around if, something happens to Tua, he gets concussed. Nakua can walk up to him and say, yo, bro, it's not real. Shake it off. Let's go. That's exactly who Tua needs around him. Tua Nakua. I like it. I like it. I like it. It won't say Tagovailoa in the back of his shirt anymore. It's going to say Nakua. Because, it's just kind of like it's a different kind of marriage that we're going to have, a football marriage. Tua Nakua. Both guys are dumb enough, right? I mean, kind of goes together. You got to admit it works. Tua Nakua. Anyway. Big O, Jordan Reed is 35 years old. Hey, he's a young 35, and concussions aren't real. I'm going to talk to Eric Lindros. I think he can play tight end. I'm going to talk to Steve Young. He's going to be our head coach. Can't make him quarterback because we got Tua. But since Steve Young, concussions aren't real, he can be our head coach. So I'm just going to go and just talk to all the concussed people that have happened, and we're going to sign them all because, as you all know, concussions aren't real. So anyway, Brett says Joe Cocker versus Ian Anderson, ugly concert. Who wins? Well, Ian wins on just flat out ugliness, but Joe Cocker gets ugly as the evening goes on. It's the problem. Like, Joe walks in and he starts and he looks half decent. But then as the concert goes on and the sweat and then he gets ugly, you know? It's like he started doing cocaine right when the show starts, and then it just gets worse and worse or something. You know, that's kind of what happened with Joe. So the ugly contest would definitely go to Jethro Tull right from the get-go. But if we hang in there and a half hour later, then that's when Joe Cocker passes him up. You know what I'm saying? It's like one of those races that the early guy takes off first, or the woman, and they got some momentum, and that is Jethro Tull. But then once we get halfway through, then the other horse, dog, man, woman, they start picking his feet because they have more stamina, right? That's Joe Cocker. And so Joe Cocker passes Jethro Tull halfway through the race, and then he finishes first because by the time the race ends, nobody's uglier than Joe Cocker. So that's my explanation. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. What else do we have? Big O Joe Cocker had a big cocaine problem. That's why he probably sweated so much. I don't know if he did or not, but man, that would answer a lot of things. Let's see. Big O, even with Mahomes, we still wouldn't win because of our piss poor management ownership. Why don't we get this? Well, Nikolai, what can I tell you, my brother? Things are bad for us right now. T. Higgins has multiple concussions. No, he doesn't. Steven, he does not. Those aren't real. Those are just in his head. It's not real. Okay? Remember, we have now gotten the word from Dr. Nakua. Just saying. You know? I don't know. I would not argue with Dr. Nakua. That guy is as knowledgeable as he gets. Joe Cocker starts doing the faces and the right shoulder moves like he's in a trance. Great version of the Beatles track with a little help from my friends. Yes, it is. It is a great track. No doubt about that. So, all right, folks, don't forget to smash the hell out of the like button whenever you're watching on your way out. We appreciate all of you for tuning in. Thank you. As always, we appreciate the great Sean Stanley, who masters his platform every single day. Tomorrow will be in the afternoon at 2 o'clock. Ira Winderman will join us tomorrow, traveling and all that, so he couldn't join us today. He will be there tomorrow at 2:30 joining us. We'll have some fun. We'll talk to Steve. We'll get his thoughts on everything. And we appreciate, of course, the great Sean Stanley. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel. Thank you all.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.